And welcome everyone here tonight for our regular meeting, City of East Ridge, December 13th. I'd like to introduce Danny Lance from True Life Church, if he'll come up and lead some invocation and pledge. Everyone stand, please.
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, first we say thank you for this wonderful city we call home, and for those who have led and served East Ridge throughout the years. We thank you for the progress that's already been made. We thank you for these men and women who've been chosen to lead at this time, for your word tells us that all authority comes from you, and those in positions of authority have been placed there by you. And we thank you for the opportunities that lie before our city. And as we face those opportunities, Lord, I ask you to give these leaders vision to see a better future, wisdom to make good decisions, courage to make hard decisions, compassion to have a heart for the people and make gentle decisions, favor with the people they lead. I ask you to give them creativity to come up with innovative solutions to problems, and to give each of them support and friendships, because leadership is a lonely job, and they will all feel that. Finally, Lord, I ask you to give them faith, because while our problems may seem big, our God is bigger than our problems. And one final thank you, Lord, and that is we thank you, Father, for your relentless love that compelled you to send your Son to redeem us. And that is what we celebrate this season. In Jesus' name, amen. Will you stand with me and face the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ross, will you do the roll call, please?
Mayor Williams,
Here.
Vice Mayor Helton, here. Councilmember Cagle,
Here.
Councilmember Chauncey,
Here.
Councilmember Witt, here. Assistant City Manager Custer,
Here.
City Attorney Litchfield.
Here. Under item 3B, we'll have a presentation of our Christmas parade awards. There you are.
Yes,
Council, I'm sorry. I was going to say, council, if you would able and willing to come down for the presentation.
We're going to change it up a little bit this year. Or actually, if you want to come out front, then I'll just pop them up here. So, as many of you know, my name's Amanda Bowers. A little name change there. We had a great Christmas parade this year. We had a lot of participants, had a lot of visitors to come watch. And of course, we had a lot of great floats. And it was really hard decisions. And thankfully, I did not have to make any of those. But we did have a few of people that helped us make those decisions. Two of those could not make it tonight due to some illness in the family. But one of them did, and one of our judges is here. I'd like to give her a little something. So, LaDonna, would you come up here for get something for us?
Just a certificate, just a thank you for helping us, and I'll let you visit that.
Oh no, it's not over. And I don't know that I see them, and I could be blind here, but our grand marshals, because they are some busy ladies and gentlemen. Is anybody from Olive Branch here? No, they're still cooking. But But we had some wonderful, if you've never been to Olive Branch Mediterranean Foods, you need to go. It is a wonderful restaurant. It's right in front of Eastridge Elementary, right there at Belvoir and John Ross. Fantastic food, fantastic desserts. I'm not plugging them just because they're Eastridge business. I'm plugging them because I love their food. Great cannolis too, if you can get them to make them. All right, so this is what their report is. Now we have two different categories. We have education and we have just the general category of awards. So we're going to start with those first, and I will announce them, and I'm going to let Mayor and Council hand them out, and I think, double check that's, we're going to go backwards. So check and see if I did it. All right, so in third place in the other category is Infinity Dance Connection. Is anybody here from Infinity Dance Connection? We'll give them the box here in a minute, so don't run off too far. All right. Here, get the box. All right, in second place, we have, and they're gonna laugh, Ginger Brown's Academy of Performing Arts, because they were in second place last time too. It wasn't on purpose, it just happened that way.
Another picture.
Our first place there. And our first place, and she's sitting there like thinking, yeah, now she knows what's going on. Our first place award goes to Eastridge Electric. They had a wonderful, wonderful float. Had smoke and everything else coming out of it. So it really was an awesome sight to see. So congratulations. Education awards. Now, education, for those of you that haven't been to our parade award ceremonies before, they actually get a cash prize. And when we do the payments, you guys do the applications, that helps do these cash prizes for these educations, which is schools, scout groups, those kind of things. So we're going to do third place for $100 is Eastridge High School JROTC.
Congratulations.
Now, Mayor, this is going to take a couple extra minutes. I'm brave and bold. If I could take 2 or 3 more minutes, we brought all these cadets. Maybe the easiest thing to do would be to move you over toward them and let us get a picture of you with those cadets. Can we do that, sir? Thank you, sir. If you would, I'll position myself here. If you'll sit maybe with those cadets there. I know it's seating. You don't normally sit. Thank you, audience. I appreciate your patience. Students, particularly high school students, don't often get to see their government in action. So, absolutely, you're the battalion commander. You sit right there with them. This is a highlight for some of these students here to be with them.
And everybody gets a
It was just we actually will report this to Cadet Command, and we will put a headline that says, Cadet Command, Eastridge JROTC cadets meet their city council. So I do appreciate your patience with this, Mayor, and welcome to your new office.
Donna's brave back there. She's here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Colonel. You always have some outstanding students, by the way. And they braved our swamps to do the river rescue this year, and bless their hearts, they got eaten up by mosquitoes. So. Oh, no, we still got two more. Two more, and then we're done. Okay, so in second place, she's over there, Eastridge High School Pioneer Cheer Squad. I think she's there. There she is. She's up as RGC. She's a busy girl. First place, and she is sitting up there, is Belvoir Christian Academy, and it's $300 first place. Thank you so much for your participation and for the next council. And thank you for all being in the pictures and all.
Thank you for the parade and everyone that's involved in the parade. It's a big effort. We appreciate it.
Thank you, appreciate that. And then have to review.
Let's go to the Christmas tree one.
She's like, I can't tell you. I'm like, seriously? I guess I see my here. Oh no, he sent all this. I have not told you. He sent the kids. I'm just gonna show you this. See what they do. Will you take care? You're welcome. Bye. Thank you.
To reiterate what I said earlier, I really appreciate everyone that was involved with the city and all the participants and for the parade. It is a massive event. It takes a lot of coordination, a lot of effort, and definitely appreciate everyone that was involved in helping provide that and keep it safe. Everyone to have fun. The next item is presentation of audit from HHM.
Zach Hutcherson.
Zach Hutcherson, HHM. Welcome.
Well, first, before we get into any hard and fast numbers, let me take a second to say thank you all. It's always an honor and a pleasure to come out here and serve you guys. We're very fortunate to work with great people like Diane. I do always enjoy that. And we have always appreciated the opportunity to partner with you guys. As far as the audit process goes, I'll give you guys a brief overview of exactly sort of what we're trying to do and our end goal and everything. When it comes to local governments, of course, accountability and responsibility are two of the most important things. We always try to test compliance with all local laws and any other regulations that could be pertinent, in addition to making sure that the financial reporting and everything is accurate and in accordance with governmental accounting standards. We can go ahead and briefly go over the financial statements. If anyone has any questions at any point, don't hesitate to just ask up. We can look at government body financial statements first, real quick. One thing that we'll notice this year is that our net position has increased over last year. A lot of this is due to an increase in capital assets that you guys have invested in during the year. We have a lot of great stuff going on with the Exit 1 beautification project and the developments there. We have issued some new debt during the year that, of course, was used to fund a lot of our capital asset acquisitions. So we also, while we have an increase in assets and an increase in liability, we also have an increase in liability corresponding to the increase in assets. We can go ahead and take a second and turn to page 12 and go over this real quick. Of course, most of our activity with you guys, with most local governments, is in your general fund. Our fund balance there is just a little over $5.2 million. And a good ratio, or a good test of local government health is the ratio of the general fund balance to the general fund expenditures to the year. And if we do that calculation, we're going to come up with the fact that you guys have enough fund balance in your general fund to cover between 3 and 4 months expenses. So standards and guidelines generally recommend you have enough general fund balance to cover between 2 and 4 months of expenses. So you guys are on the high side of that recommendation, which is, of course, a very good thing. Other funds have some restrictions on them for law enforcement, debt service, capital projects, and things like that, but we still have a very healthy amount of unassigned fund balance that we can draw on if we need to. Now, if we look here, we can actually turn and go to page 18. I think that's the next one that has a lot of action on it, and this is the budget to actual schedule for the general fund. Now, our final budget showed a decrease in fund balance of about $387,000, but actually through a reduction of expenses and other items, we managed to come in with a positive variance between actual and final budget of about $213,000. So we did a good job there as well. Everything else that we can look at, if we go back here, we can look at any of the others. The solid waste fund this year had a small decrease. And a lot of the other funds stayed relatively stable. There wasn't a ton of action that went on. Do you guys have any questions, or is there anything else you'd like me to touch on?
Council?
Overall, this year, the audit went very well. We were very pleased. We had no difficulties working with management. Like I said, Diane, it's an absolute pleasure to come out and work with. So unless you guys have any other questions, we had a clean audit opinion this year, as we always do when we come up here. So unless you guys have any questions, then that is my presentation.
Awesome. It's great news. Great work. Thank you very much.
Again, thank you for the opportunity, and I hope you all have a great evening and a wonderful rest of the week.
Thank you. It is also always good to have a good audit, positive information.
We have a really good staff in the finance department.
I agree.
Everyone in that department is very good.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll move on to our consent agenda. I hope we take that everyone has actually read the minutes from the November 8th agenda work session, regular council meeting, the November 30th call meeting, the approval of the 2018 financial report, and the declaration of surplus property. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second? Second. We have a motion by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Chauncey. Do you have any discussion? Ms. Coles, if you'll call for a vote.
Vice Mayor Hamilton,
I have to abstain from A and B because I wasn't here, but C, D, and E, yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey,
I just wanted to point out, even though I was not on council, I did attend the meeting, and I did review the minutes, and I do approve, so yes, vote for me.
Councilmember Witt, Same with me. I was at the meeting, but I was not on the council. I do approve them, and I did read them. Mayor Williams?
Yes.
I'm not used to sitting on this side. So that was my embarrassment for the night.
If that's the only one, you're doing just fine.
Yes, thank you for filling in. We appreciate it and understand. I think many of us are nervous. Okay, we'll move on to item 5, communication from citizens. This is an opportunity for residents and business owners that live or work in East Ridge to communicate to the council. We have a sign-in sheet. We have 2 on the sign-in sheet. We still call for anyone from the audience later. First is Earl Wilson.
I'm Earl Wilson. I'm here on behalf of the Needy Children's Fund and the Board of Directors.
Give me an address, please.
2019 Pioneer Ridge Trail, East Ridge, Tennessee. We are asking the citizens and the council to keep in mind that with the Needy Children's Fund, last year we fed 54 families, bought gifts for 161 children. This year we're asking for help with canned goods, boxed items such as macaroni and cheese, canned chicken, tuna helper, things of that nature. We're also asking people to keep in mind most of these families do have pets, dogs, cats, things like that. We need for items of that nature to be put either in the boxes out here, reach out to Councilmember Witt or myself. We can, make arrangements to get these picked up. But it's for a good cause. Last year, Greg Shipley and I delivered 1 box, and the little boy that got it, he was 10 years old. He had 6 sisters, and instead of the toys and things that we brought, he opened the box and started crying and said, "Look, Donna, we finally have something to eat." So let's keep in mind we do have some people in East Ridge that are challenged and need our help, and we appreciate those of you that have already made contributions, and we encourage you also to go up to Hilton Hills, see the Christmas lights, take a canned good or something, and get where you can park, get out, walk around and look at all the lights. It's really a great event and a big source of revenue for the Needy Children's Fund. Thank you.
Hey, Earl,
Yes.
I know you gave some specifics, but could you send me an email on stuff that you need food
Yeah,
wise?
I'll be glad to do that. I'll send it this evening when I get in.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. It is an amazing group that does amazing work in our city. So if anyone can actually help, it's greatly appreciated, as Mr. Wilson testified to some of the children. Next, we have John Britt. Hello, sir.
Hello, I'm John Britt, 5305 Marion Avenue, East Ridge, Tennessee. And I'm just coming to the council humbly asking for the council to do a third-party review of East Ridge Police Department policies regarding conduct of officers on doing duty and off duty, as well as use of force. That's the reason I'm coming to formally ask for y'all to do that humbly asking.
Thank you, sir.
The address.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Britt, thank you for bringing that to our attention. We've already reached out to MTAS. MTAS will start in January. We began scheduling a strategic planning session back in late October, early November, with hopes of getting the strategic planning done by the first of the year.
Okay.
That we were unable to make that happen, but we spoke with their law enforcement consultant, and they will be coming in January doing a full audit of the entire police department, ranging from leadership, policies, procedures, efficiency, and we're actually using MTAS to look at multiple departments throughout the city to make sure that we're providing lean and efficient government. There's a culture that's been set here for a long time, and things have been done a certain good way, and we have great employees, but we want to make sure that we're really doing the right thing and that we're really moving in the right direction. And in order to do that is to get somebody that doesn't have a biased opinion to come in and kind of give us some guidance and see the direction that we need to go. And once I have those findings, I will be happy to present those in the direction that we want. So,
Will you be presenting them to the council?
yes, I will.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. That is all that I have on the sign-in sheet. Is there anyone else who would like to come forward and address?
Laura Mathis, 2100 Brown Road. I just wanted to say thank you to the new council, and I look forward to learning from your wisdom. The soccer team guy, who's going to pay for that?
Yes.
Stands, the fields.
The fields was part of what we were trying to accomplish initially, but it looks like that's not going to happen, so that'll be something that we have to negotiate with him. He wants to make an investment, and this is his pitch to us, and I'll be providing an agreement, which is currently under review by legal, on how that would work. Initially, they would spend upwards of nearly $1 million on the soccer stadium, and then also pay $40,000 a year as a usage fee.
That's great.
So it's the first step of us creating public-private partnerships. I've been outreached by other large corporations that would like to do some field sponsorship. Obviously this is a decision that council has to make, but I will bring all the information back and see if we can create more public-private partnerships.
I just didn't want to take a hit in the budget.
I understand. I understand.
I love the idea though.
I understand.
One thing that I'll add, during the communication section, I'm going to leave an extra pad down front for someone that wants to come up that didn't sign in. I would really like to get your email and phone number if you're willing, because we will be getting back in touch with someone that has a concern or a question personally, and also presenting it in front of the council at a later date when we have feedback and information. So you'll see a little change. The board will stay down there for someone else that comes up, and I'd like to get their information so we can reach out to them and give them back feedback. Next, we have communications of council members. We'll start on my left. Councilmember Cagle. Yes.
Well, I'd like to give the explanation on the reason why I didn't get up to go down to the front.
Yes, sir.
People, because I was down in my legs, folks, they just hurt. And the other night, going up down this thing right here, the next day I paid for it dearly. So I'm supposed to be getting some treatment started January the 8th, so I've got to hang in there to the end until it gets started. So, thank you.
We understand. Hope best for you and hope you get some improvement.
I would like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. It looks like we may not have a meeting, second meeting in December. So I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody, and also like to remind everyone to keep Mr. Denny Manning in your thoughts and prayers. He's back home, but still not doing too well. Thank you.
Councilmember Witt.
I also want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and I want to tell you that if you want to know what fruits and vegetables that they need, I did bring that list for them, so I have it.
Okay.
But I also want to tell everybody that there are people that are not on our Needy Child Fund list, but we have the Eastridge Community Food Pantry, and that will be open from 2 to 5 Wednesday on the 19th. So if you know of anybody that needs food for the holidays or ever, we're always open on the first and third Wednesday of the month. So please put the word out that we need the canned goods for the Eastridge Needy Child Fund, and also let people know about the Eastridge Community Food Bank. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to mention Mr. Manning, keep him in your prayers. Wish everyone a Merry Christmas if we do decide to cancel, and a Happy New Year. Also mention Cardinal Story, keep him in your prayers. He's home, he's doing better, but he still has a ways to go. And thank you for coming and attending. I appreciate the citizen input and involvement in their city. Mr. City Manager?
I have a few things I would like to address. In front of each of you is a very large file folder with the applications for the city manager position. The direction that you all choose to go with that is completely up to you. I have not reviewed them, but would like some input on how the direction that you would like us to go as far as staff goes. So obviously that's going to be a discussion over some time, but I want to make sure that now that the new council is sworn in, that you have the opportunity to go through those and make your selections, however you choose to do your interview, background checks, testing is completely up to you. I would recommend that we do a CPI 360 on the top candidates. That way we can truly identify emotional intelligence and make sure that we're going to, whoever we put in here will be the right fit, and hopefully they last for a very long time.
Thank you, Mr. Custer.
I got one more thing.
Yes, sir.
Facebook, you might have noticed that we've put out for some volunteer work. We are going to be opening up City Hall for some different things. We're wanting to do volunteer work for the History Center. We're going to have some filing and scanning of all the building plans. So there's going to be some opportunities for this is your community, for everyone to come and sign up and get on that list. And there's going to be things that go through the spring and the winter. Amanda's going to be working on coordinating that program initially, but we want to get as many people involved and you know, just kind of give back. So we would really appreciate anybody that'd be willing to do some volunteer opportunities for us. I'm done.
Sorry, I almost cut you off. With the
Dead obligation.
I'm s-
oh, yeah, get out of here. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
So the report on the debt obligation is for the $725,000, and that's for the communication tower that's been discussed for police department and radio communications. As many of you know and have heard over time, that our police officers have had tremendous amounts of issues being able to get out in the event of emergency. There are certain pockets of East Ridge, because of our terrain, which ends up being very unique, that will not allow them to transmit. There's even been cases of, you know, an officer that's in a scuffle trying to get to his radio, and when he keys it up, it makes a beeping noise, which means you're not transmitting. That's stuff that we need to be able to eliminate. Motorola come in and did a survey across the city to figure out what was going to be the best option. Staff looked at multiple things, whether it was going to a trunking system or whether it was going to be to build a tower. If we do the communication tower, then it'll become part of the Tennessee Valley radio system. And once it's constructed, they will move forward with all the updates, and they will maintain and update the system as it goes through. So we did sign this a few weeks ago, and that's what this debt obligation is for. It's $725,000 for the communication tower.
Thank you, sir. In regards to the city manager applications, I'd like input from the council. How would you like to proceed? Would you want to have the staff, administration, to review these and provide their recommendations and ones that went through, weed out and make sure qualifications are met? Or would you want to review these individually?
How many are there?
I believe there's about 40.
40.
48.
48.
48.
Yes, sir.
How have they handled that in the past?
It's varied.
I think in the past, most recently, it was actually, they've been vetted, correct?
That's correct.
In the top
Yes.
5 or 6, if you know the order that's presented to council for reviewing.
You'd like staff to review?
You're good, is everyone good with staff reviewing and providing top 10?
That'd be great.
Had any of them, well, since it's been so long since we cut it off, they had anybody called in and said, take the name out?
No, we've actually had people call to verify that if the position hasn't been filled yet. So we can make that a priority and go through those and start vetting those and then present those back to them.
I think that's what's happened last time, was we prolonged, and some people all we got out, and then we offered it, called them, and then they backed out then.
So,
Or they'd already took another job, so.
okay. Council's good with the staff reviewing, providing the top 10?
Either way, you'll have them.
Correct.
So you can conduct a preliminary review and then we'll present our top 10 and they may match your top 10.
Okay. Awesome. Move forward with that. We'll move to old business.
Ordinance number 1085, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning maps of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 1509 East Ridge Avenue, tax map number 169H-D-006, from R1 Residential District to C2 General Commercial District.
Mayor Kessel, I actually spoke to Mr. Trammell. He has reached out to me. He was very thankful for how we have handled this rezoning, even with the delays we've had because of the meetings. But there was an issue with the purchase of the property, and he is no longer requesting that rezoning, and had sent an email to me requesting that it just remain what it is currently. So he's not moving forward with the rezoning at all, or the purchase of the property.
Okay, this was tabled as of 11/8, so it's still on the table. So
You can, a couple things, you can just, if you're asking for it to be withdrawn, I think you can then just go ahead and make a motion to approve the withdrawal. If you want to pull it from the table, then withdraw it, I don't think it's going to take much. The same is going to be affected here. It was tabled, but you can just move to withdraw it and approve his request.
I have a question. By this being a split zone, are there any way that we could go ahead and unsplit it and make it one zone tonight?
We could. It's just the one that actually performed the request has asked for it to be withdrawn.
All right, so we could do it like tonight, go back and say, okay, well, we're gonna rezone this to R2. So that way that whole piece of property will be R2 till somebody else buys it.
Or the R1.
But R1,
Yeah, I think it's a split between C2 and R1.
Yeah.
Let me look at the percentage, the ratio.
I believe this went to the planning commission.
It did. The property went into something to do with financial institution, whether it's court order, bankruptcy, whatever the case may be. They're not going to have access to that property.
Councilman Cagle was talking about going ahead and just rezoning it, the whole thing back over to R1. Could we do that here and bypass, put it back in front of the planning commission?
I would probably caution against it if you're trying to, the request was, there's only a request here by the property owner. If there's, this council is wanting to do something other than what the request, this council would actually have to go and ask the regional planning agency for that. Come up through the planning commission and then up to this body as the applicant would be the city council at that point. Since this was just the property owner, one, he doesn't have notice of that. But I would caution against taking an effort tonight to rezone the whole property R1, since that's not what the request has gone through the chains.
I didn't know, that's the reason why I was asking, because you can take one of the split zonings off of our books.
Because we know it's going to come back up
Yeah,
again.
it's going to come back up, yeah.
So the council can move to go to planning commission and be the applicant to have this property rezoned from all R1.
But at this point, you think we should just go ahead and remove and withdraw based upon the property owner?
Yeah, I mean, you can table it and deny the approval. If you deny it, then it's, of course, 1 year before this property could come up. But I think the general consensus generally has been that there's a request. No.
Right,
Out of that year.
right.
So I wouldn't do that option. So I would just,
I just make a motion to remove it from the table.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Cagle, second from Vice Mayor Hilton to remove from the table. Roll call.
Vice Mayor Hilton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Webb. Yes. Mayor Williams.
Yes.
now withdraw.
Now we have it removed from the table, so we entertain a motion for withdrawal.
I make a motion that we withdraw.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion from Councilmember Chauncey and a second by Councilmember Witt.
Doesn't matter.
What you have, Witt?
Yes.
To withdraw. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Hilton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt. Yes. Mayor Williams.
Yes. Thank you. Item B.
Ordinance number 1087, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 6750 Ringo Road, tax map number 170I-C-007, from A1 Agricultural District to C1 Tourism Commercial District to C2 General Commercial District.
Be sure that I'm right on the piece of property that's down there, Scruggs Road.
Next to Community Baptist Church. Yes, sir.
Motion to approve ordinance 1087.
We have a motion. Councilmember Cagle and a second from Vice Mayor Hilton. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Hilton. Yes. Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt. Yes. Mayor Williams.
Yes. Item C on old business.
Ordinance number 1088, an ordinance of the City Council, of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 730 Frawley Road, tax map number 170J-B-025.01, from R1 Residential District and C2 General Commercial District to C2 General Commercial District.
Do we have a motion for ordinance 1088?
Got a question. Did the owners and the guy that showed up here that night, did they get into agreement with everything that they discussed?
We added several items to the
Well, the main one that I was really worried about was the low hanging wires that he was discussing about putting those underground.
The issue with that, so that's EPB and being a public utility, but however, it does say that Atlas, I believe the ordinance, let me make sure, double checks on the back. Section 4 says Atlas Land Development LLC will meet all current underground utility requirements. We will speak with EPB about that issue. It could be a completely separate issue, but with our working relationship that we have with them, I believe we'll be able to address the conflict. And the other things that they had, or the other items that we brought up was the privacy fence, along with the landscape buffer to be maintained, and all that was addressed within the ordinance.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Vice Mayor Hilton and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any other discussion? Roll call.
Vice Mayor Hilton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt. Yes. Mayor Williams.
Yes. Next, we have a favor of or opposed to disuse over the communication tower? I see none. I will close this public hearing. Item D, ordinance.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, permitting Motorola Solutions, Inc. on behalf of the City of East Ridge to construct a communications tower with related equipment at 1501 Tombers Avenue in accordance with Ordinance 481, Article 7, Section 113, titled Uses Permitted on Review.
Give a motion. Second.
I'll second. I got a question too, go ahead.
Go ahead.
This, I think the tower is an excellent thing. If anything that we can do to improve the public safety of our first responders, it's definitely a good thing. I know it's a lot of money to spend, but it's also, like I said, if we can save a life, it's ultimately priceless. Well, with that being said, I got a question. I saw in the booklet, the entire project is going to be contingent upon it. Well, since it's so close to the proximity of the Lovell airfield, that the proposal is contingent on FHA study.
That's correct.
Okay. And I see where East Ridge is responsible for paying for the FCC licensings and the frequency coordination fees.
Yes, that'll be the initial cost that we have, which is built into the project, and then after the project is complete, then Tennessee Valley Radio Communication will take over everything but the monthly internet connection to the tower.
I guess, is there a way that the FAA study contingency, is there any way we can get that out of the way first before we spend taxpayers' money on the licensing, just to make sure that?
Yes, that's already under, they're already working on the study currently.
We have a motion on the floor by Vice Mayor Elton and second by Councilmember Johnson. One question that I have is the updated cost of equipment quotation. I noticed that item 3 was removed from the latest private microwave link East Ridge to existing. Is that what we're doing with the
Yes, so that, when they first came out and started working on the project, the discussion with use of the microwave and the usability of it is currently being at capacity for other areas. So they started figuring out other ways that they could drop the cost, still achieve the same goal. And that was inadvertently put in the original packet. That's why it was said 890,000 versus the 725.
Okay.
That's why you got an addendum to that, like to address the 725. I actually spent a lot of time on the phone with Mark Rowland going through that, making sure that that was not an error. And they said it was just
That was my question as well.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
And I didn't get that till late this afternoon. I would have asked you earlier.
That's okay.
That was one of my questions. Explain that again, I didn't quite understand all that you said.
So, when they began working on the project, they obviously went out and looked at what's the best of the best that we could possibly get. And then they started narrowing it down as how can we achieve the exact same thing with a different set of equipment. So after talking to them about it, he said that's where the price difference came in. And that original bid of the 890,000 shouldn't have been in the packet. But when we submitted the packet as a whole, that was the one that was in there. But I knew that we were already looking at the debt obligation of 725,000. And then when I sent 890,000, I immediately called, talked to Assistant Chief Allen. I said, hey, I need to talk to the Motorola guy today. So I was on the phone with him, spent some time on the phone, and he actually sent a pretty decent email that explained a lot of the information. And I'll get all that out to you guys.
So that's very nice, I think, like I asked you to do, this 890 was 725 plus the interest over the next. So, and there's another question right here. seems like every job we get into, every project we get into, have work change orders.
Yes, sir.
So there's a big clause in here, restrictions, and Motorola not responsible, such, and if something happened. And a lot of it has to do with frequencies, channels, overriding each other. So are there a way that we can check that, correct that, and have that price up front instead of coming back 6 months later and we're saying that, well, we gotta do something about the frequencies and the things, and then down at the bottom, material changes, be sure we don't, that we're not gonna have no design computers and things. Because, you know, I know with the fire hall there, how many change orders we have on it is because of.
Yeah, it's constant. Change orders are constant, and it does get a little frustrating, especially when you have all the bid documents. Look at the bid documents. As far as the frequencies goes, that's going to be part of their testing after the construction of the tower, is my understanding. Now, they've tested a lot of frequencies already, but.
Right, and there are 2 representatives from Motorola here if you have any questions that they may be able to answer.
Fantastic. Why didn't you get up early?
I'll talk about the frequency.
Try to make me look like a radio specialist.
I was very impressed. I didn't
Well,
want
I'm
to
glad.
Scott Tidwell, 7563 Gibbs Road, Knoxville, Tennessee, with Motorola Solutions. So the frequency piece, that is such a minimal cost on that. And we work with you all to make sure you get those frequencies licensed to the city. That's a minimal cost. They put verbiage in there like that just to cover their tail for the most part. But yes, so but basically what will happen is, once you all sign an agreement with us, we will actually sit down with your folks again and do another design review to avoid change orders. Because I used to work for the city of Knoxville, so I totally understand that. And we're contractually obligated to put anything that's in there will be in there. Typically, change orders with us, it's typically if you wanted to add something or a feature set, or if you decide, hey, we don't want that anymore, then we pull that out too. So sometimes it's a reduction in cost as well. So with the frequency piece, you go through TEMA. There's a gentleman named Joe Johnson that usually helps us with that. So we'll work with you on that part. And yes, to your point, the FAA stuff, that goes on. It's all kind of in coordination. But we will actually come and sit down with your folks again. They'll assign a project manager and engineer who will review everything again, so everybody knows in front. And as far as the police department, it'll actually benefit the police, fire, and if you all put anybody else on that system, you will. The good news is, because you're part of the Valley Network, to Kenny's point is, capital expenditure now, you'll never have to pay for that site to be upgraded. But you still own it. That's the key thing. You still own it. It's just part of the agreement. Do you or does anyone have any idea on the approval coming back from the FAA? We don't. So in my experience, I've been at Motorola 5 years. We had something similar in Sullivan County. They had a 240-foot tower that did not pass the FAA regulations for flight line, so they had to reduce it to 200. So what we did, we just come back, we rerun the calculations to make sure the coverage is still good, and that's how that typically works. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I've even installed a ton of towers, and I've only had that happen one time. It ended up being okay. What would happen is if the FAA comes back and says, hey, that's in our flight line, you either have to reduce it or move it, then we're not going to expect you all to pay us until we determine that's another either tower side, or we kind of come up with then make sure you get the, because we had a whole list of addresses of concern, we had to make sure we cover them. So if we move it, number one has to make sure zoning's okay, because the FAA is okay. But all that's kind of done prior or during the whole contractual part of it. Yeah, so that's the federal government.
This has been a working process. This has been going on for how long?
At least a year. Yes, sir. We've done several analysis and looked at different positions, the size of the pole, the
And I believe each of you a few weeks ago was presented that the entire program and kind of explained what was happening.
Any other questions?
I agree that we need this thing, we've needed it for 40 years. 34 years I was employed here, I could just about take you around and show you the spots that our radios didn't work then, and they don't work there now. So, it's the money we're going to be well spent. Let's hope we can pay it. Oh, yes, keep it government finance.
And also, going along with this, some of the issues to is building related, and all the new building codes are addressing operability for first responders. So it provides us an avenue to require new construction to have their building evaluated to make sure the communications can actually get out. And if they can't, then you can have people come in and increase signal strengths and stuff like that to ensure responder safety. So that's something we can work with in conjunction to make sure that newer construction buildings meet that same requirement. Because like at the hospital, places like that, you get deep into there and you'll have a hard time transmitting. And that's fire and police. Ace Hardware, yeah, it's always been like that on AWS.
You can sign the police department.
Yes.
Can't get out. Any other questions?
Thanks.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Vice Mayor Helton. Yes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. We move to new business. Item A.
In order for the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee to amend ordinance number 1078 entitled an ordinance to provide revenue for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee for the fiscal year July 1, 2018, June 30, 2019, appropriating the same to the payment of expenses of the municipal government by designating a portion of the unassigned fund balance of the general fund and drug fund, and by changing the revenue of the general fund, and by changing the expenditures of the general fund, drug fund, and capital project fund.
Council, this is the item we discussed in the June work session that Ms. Quarles explained a little bit. Do you want to touch on it again?
Do you have the document?
She doesn't have the document.
I do.
Basically, it's the $725,000 the tower we just discussed.
Yes, it's from, yeah, it reflects the revenue that came in that we're getting from the bond fund for the tower.
Right.
Also the expenditure. We also will be increasing for the project, I think that you're going to be voting on later on about engineering for $30,000.
The drainage? Correct.
We also increased revenue because we received a rebate back from Hamilton County 911. The change in the drug fund related to purchasing more bulletproof vests. And then the capital projects fund, we're doing just shifting money from Parks and Rec capital projects to the streets, finishing up on the exit one.
Correct. And we had a little bit of the election.
Election, yes, sir, we budgeted $6,000, we spent $6,230. We had lots of people voting.
We had the slight adjustment for the assistant city manager and the manager. Yes.
That $127,000, which is in Parks and Recreation, that is the final payment for it?
Yes, it's done.
It's done.
It's done.
On the drug fund thing, did we get a grant for those bulletproof vests?
We do have grants that we continually use, but when I have to budget the money, and we don't budget it all to begin with, we do a very small drug fund budget. It's a very restricted fund, and so we just increase it during the year as we go. We will amend the budget for that. Like y'all, we amended it first.
We were amending $5,000 for the vest.
Because we already had some there, we're increasing it more. We had already amended it once because we were spending, we purchased some CID vehicles, and we paid for part of one out of the drug fund, which you can do. There are only certain things you can buy out of the drug fund.
Do we have a motion for ordinance 1090?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Chauncey and a second from Councilmember Witt. Do we have any other discussion? Roll call, please, Ms. Cole.
Vice Mayor Hilton. Yes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt. Yes. Mayor Williams.
Yes.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, awarding bids for the renovation of existing concession and restroom facilities and the construction of new restrooms, concession facilities within the Camp Jordan Athletic Complex.
This council, I hope that you received the agenda packet that came out. Tad bit late due to getting in the bids.
Yeah, and I would like to, Adam has worked really hard on trying to value engineer this. I mean, if you'll recall, this discussion came up, let's say, over a year and a half ago, for the $2.3 million. And when that was allocated, or when the discussion was had and the proposal was presented, there were several things in there that was inadvertently left out. One is site survey cost, engineering cost, and utility upgrades. Those are great expenses that have to be in there, and that's caused some of our, I guess, our inflation in our pricing. Adam, go ahead if you want to dive into who won the bid.
All right, so on December 7th, we opened bids for restroom and concession buildings for renovation at Camp Jordan Park. We received 2 qualified bids. The low bid was Integrated Properties, LLC, and the second one was Helton Construction. The low bid was $1,333,579.33. Over the last 24 hours, we've worked with Integrated Properties to value engineer approximately $175,000 to lower that amount down to $1,157,920.33. So for restrooms and concession buildings at Camp Jordan Park, staff is recommending we award the bid to Integrated Properties LLC.
And the scope of this work, if you'll flip over to the next page, it'll give you a description of items. So this is actually 12 buildings that are either newly constructed or rehabilitated.
Do we have a motion for resolution 2877?
Back when all this was first brought up, I had the original thing that we voted, discussed to do down at the park. And there's been some stuff that took out and left out and done bid. For instance, one of them is here on this information, it's called Building 10. It's the amphitheater. They were supposed to get a quote on exterior paint and put a new metal roof on it to match the looks of the other building. And there has been a bathroom left out that I thought hard, discussed. Mr. Miller, we all finally come to an agreement to have it put in. It's bad, it was supposed to be put back there between fields 5 and 13. So my understanding is now they have took it, moved it up there between 9, 10, 11, and 12. But there still needs to be a bathroom back there between 5 and 13, because that's a long ways to walk over there for number 3. It doesn't look like on this, but right there walking. I'd like to see this bathroom number 4 put back in. Amphitheater needs to be dressed and matched back like that. And I'm not real happy with the, I wasn't then, not now, but the commercial kitchen, which y'all talked about, that was being talked about, y'all have decided, or we decided then to pick up our work, number 5 is. And Kenny's told me y'all have done away with number 1, bathroom down there.
Okay, so building 10 on my chart is the amphitheater, and it is still scheduled to be painted.
10, which is the amphitheater.
Yes, sir.
As far as I know, the entire amphitheater is still supposed to be painted. Now, the only thing that they were wanting, that we wanted to value engineer was the soffit material that goes under or just above the stage area, so that, just to dress that up, it is being removed. It's just part of the value engineering to get us in budget. As far as building 4, which was the restroom in the parking lot area, it's part of value engineering also, but it also serves as a dual purpose. Building 4, which is that restroom, is moved into the quad at fields 9 through 12, saving us money on utility costs, and also eliminates the shade structure that was going to be there. And it'll also serve as a restroom facility and a concession area to service the fields at 9 through 12. It's my.
Which one's gonna be moved into 9, 10, and 12, 11?
On
Bathroom 1?
my list, it's building 4. I'm not sure what you have, but it's building 4 is.
Bathroom 4 is the one that I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
It's supposed to be back there between 5 and 13.
That was the one that you moved based on utility costs.
Yeah,
I
building
want to make this a shade.
Building 4 was a restroom that was at the end of the runway between fields 9 through 12 near the parking lot area. And
So that's where it got located. It was supposed to be down between 5 and 13, so it could be used for those 5, 6, 7, 8, and 13, all 5 of those fields there.
yes, sir, that building's still there. It's building 3.
Yes, sir, I understand that. I see that. I'm talking about building 4.
Yes, sir.
It's supposed to be down between 5 and 13. Building 3 is down here, back down toward the soccer fields. So, I'd like to have that building 4 put back in the back down there.
Well, the reason that we're recommending building 4 be moved is, number one, for the cost. It saves on cost for our budget, but also it serves as the purpose for having restrooms and a concession area in the middle of that quad. And for all fields that I've ever been at, if you have a quad of fields, you have a restroom and a concession stand to service those people.
Well, that was supposed to be torn down. In between 5, 6, 7, and 8, that's supposed to be torn down.
It's an existing building that is used, that'll be purposed for umpire chasing room and storage for maintenance equipment such as your chalker and your pallets for like conditioner, field dry, and any of your equipment that you need to service the fields.
You can't have a bathroom put in the bottom of that, and put that field right back down where it was at before.
You have to run utilities, there's no sewer there.
That's the ultimate reason I think you're putting the restrooms and concessions back in that quad between 9, 10, 11, 12 is because of the sewer and the
Utility access.
Correct. It saves us some money running those utility lines, but then it also services a dual purpose by servicing concessions and restrooms for those people that are playing in fields 9 through 12. Otherwise, they're going to have to walk a pretty good ways.
That's the reason why the one was put out there where the number 1 building, that's the reason why it was put out there. Because it originally was supposed to have a commercial kitchen, and it was supposed to serve all the fields. But then we moved the commercial up to field 5, in building 5 here on that. And that was still supposed to be a bathroom down there. The commercial kitchen took out the flood and put it on top of that hill up there.
So Councilman Cagle, are you requesting that we move the building 4 back to its original location and then just put the shade structure between the quads?
I would like to see the bathroom 4 somewhere between field 5 and field 13, so it can be utilized by all 5 of these fields here.
So we still have a restroom in between fields 5 through 8. It's building number 3, and it's also located between fields 1 through 4. So on my sheet, it's located right here, field number 3.
Yes, sir. I know where that is, but you be back here on field 8, you try to get there, it's a long ways to walk to the bathroom. I'm speaking for myself.
I definitely understand that, but I also could say, if you're traveling from field 9, you're going to be going off a long ways, because your closest one is now going to be moved over to between 5 and 13.
And that was basically what I was, after I kind of dove into this project, that's kind of one of the areas that I thought we were deficient in. There was no restroom or concession in between that quad at 9 through 12. And so that's what I'm recommending, just based on my years of experience in Parks and Rec, is usually have a restroom and concession.
And the reason why the distribution was actually set the way it was is because there was we were under the impression that they were going to do food delivery service like beverage carts, like at you had at golf courses. So there was going to be an easier way to distribute product from one area to the other. So that's how our original design came up. Once we got well into this, that was no longer the case.
And also, I came in kind of towards the very end of the design process, so I've kind of put a little bit of my touch on this too, so that's a little bit why there were a few changes.
That was the biggest complaint that I heard at that girls' showcase tournament down there. Back row field, 7 and 8 and 13, when the little kids were playing over there. It was far as that back room number 4. That's the reason why I argued up here that back in before I put it there. So we've done away with bathroom 1. When is that everybody was? Or is that the one you're gonna do in 1911?
That's the one I'm
So you're
putting,
gonna do away with bathroom 4.
it still has a bathroom. Yeah, it also has a concession shelf too. The one that you were talking about, building 4 from the parking lot is now in the middle of fields 9 through 12 in that quad.
So we've done away with bathroom 1.
Bathroom 1 is
No.
still part of the kitchen.
No,
That's the largest
The largest.
structure that we're building.
still 4 bathrooms, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4's just been moved from,
So
We should have plenty of restrooms now, but that was one of the, from what I've been told, that was one of our biggest complaints of our park was having nicer restrooms. And now this should service our park, our baseball, softball.
the last discussion we had up here, we took the kitchen out of bathroom 1. Put it up here on the hill where that bathroom is. But y'all are going to do what, to refurbish them?
Building 1 is a brand new building. There's an existing building there that's going to be demoed, and building 1 will now be your large kitchen
Well, maybe
and
it's
restroom.
pretty fast right now. I'm out, two different houses. And you're now going to have bathroom 1 only from where it's original. And you moved it up there where the hill is, where my picture's showing and stuff. Building 5. You said building 13 is going to have a bathroom in it?
Building number 13 is an existing building that was a concession stand. It's in pretty bad shape as far as just the aesthetics of it. But what we've decided to do is keep that building and paint paint it, but also keep the upstairs so that the umpires have a room to change in, because otherwise they were gonna have to walk to the quad at 1 through 4, 9 through 12, and it gets games behind and umpires go out and stuff like that. But also on the lower level of that, where the concession building is, we've already kind of demoed the inside of that, and it is now a storage area for our maintenance staff to keep their equipment in.
So you've got bathroom 3 going to be utilized for 9 ball fields.
Yes. But they can also use building 1 or building 4 if they're in the park. They can use.
There you go again, I think walk to field 7 for bathroom.
Personally, I just don't see a problem in having to walk. It's not like it's a mile.
That's because you're not 70 years old.
Yeah. About 60, so.
Well, if you look at if you'll remember back to the original proposal, over there, we added bathroom number 2 because there's not one at all. You have to go from field 1 to field 4.
And removing the bathroom from the quad of 9 through 12, moving it over, you're doing the same thing. You're requiring everyone from that 4 quad, even 9, which is the furthest one, to walk a long distance. See, it's about the same unless we put one in both places, but we're trying to also reduce the budget and the cost.
Yes, that was one component of that, but also with that being said, it makes sense to me to put that restroom and concession building in between the quad. But it also reduces money because we eliminate shade structure and utilities that will be run out there in the parking lot.
Can I say something? In my opinion, I think it's laid out just fine. I think it's laid out just fine. I think the amount of the bathrooms that we have here that we can have will cover most of the field. If you've got someone over here on field 1 and 2, they can go use bathroom 1 or 3. If you've got someone down here on 7 and 8, they can use 3 or 4. So I think it's laid out perfect.
You got youth softball going on down there. The gates are kept locked on 9, 10, 11, and 12. And the people are not up there to use the bathroom up there. I'm not talking about, you got these 9 fields going down here with youth softball. That one bathroom is not big enough. It is not. It will not serve the purpose. We need another bathroom down there.
We should have 2 open at all times.
3 is 3 not getting enhanced and then getting enhanced.
Yeah, it is. It's
getting large.
It is getting large.
Well, I've had my speech, so. I need a bathroom.
We cannot put a bathroom where building 13 is. That's correct.
It's an existing building.
Yeah. But there's no sewer there. At what cost? Obviously we could, but realistically,
We basically value engineered this down as pretty much as far as we can get to try to stay within budget. So any additional costs they probably have to be approved.
I think in general, people's complaints with the bathrooms, they were disgusting, not the distance.
Right, and if we can upgrade our restrooms, and obviously our staff is going to keep them clean, I think our visitors are going to have a much more pleasant experience.
Well, I'll entertain a motion if someone would like to move forward with resolution 2877. A motion from Vice Mayor Helton, a second from Councilmember Witt. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Elton?
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle?
I'm not gonna hold up progress, but we still need that bathroom. Answer yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
yes.
Councilmember Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. Motion approved. Resolution 2878, obviously.
resolution of City Council, City of East Ridge, Tennessee, awarding bids for the renovation of 13 softball, baseball infields within the Camp Jordan Athletic Complex.
All right, so on December 3rd, we had bid openings for infield renovations for Camp Jordan. We received 4 qualified bids. Base bid amounts in this order were River City Athletics, $88,700, Athletic Fields Incorporated, $90,500, Tifton Turf, $235,930, and Mid-America Sports, $501,201. Those are base bids for infield renovations. Based on these amounts, staff is recommending awarding River City Athletic Fields the field renovation bid.
We have a motion for resolution 2878, setting the bids for the infield. Yes, sir.
Base bid is 1,000 tons of infield mix.
Yes, sir.
That's for $88,700.
And that includes the labor to install that.
Okay. Safe coat, $1,700 a truckload. How many truckloads are going to need?
If we go with Safe Coat, approximately 10 truckloads, which would be 17,000.
All right, Molina. What is that, the red brick dust up?
It's a infield conditioner.
Dryer?
Sorry?
Is it a dryer?
Well, it basically what it does is it absorbs moisture and then releases it back slowly when the sun comes out.
How many tons will need to be?
It's basically either or. So if you go with Safe Coat, you're going to need you're going to go with just the Safe Coat. But if you go with Molina, it's a cheaper version. We really won't know exactly until we get in and see exactly how many tons of this infield mix we're going to need to put down. But it would be less than the Safe Coat. But the Safe Coat is currently what we have on our fields.
This is per truckload. Is that a 10-ton truck or?
I'm assuming that it's a 24-ton.
24 ton? How many bags of ryegrass?
It's a minimal, but it's basically the ryegrass. We got a price on that because during the lit remediation where we cut the grass out where it meets the infield, the humps, there's a chance that it could potentially go farther than we really want it to be. So this is just to sew that back in. Not 100% sure on exactly how much we'll need, but I can't imagine more than 10 bags.
We've got $88,000 plus maybe another $17,000 for 42, whichever one we decide to go with there.
Yes, and it would be about 105,000 if you go with the Safe Coat. Which, like I said, that's currently what we have on our fields. It's a really good product that allows you to play when other parks aren't playing because of how well it holds up whenever you do have inclement weather. Now, if you have torrential rains and stuff like that, you're still not going to play. But my experience with other parks is that does not have the Safe Coat. Typically, they get rained out before the parks that do have it.
So you're going to recommend to go with the Safe Coat?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so just do away with this
could be less. I mean, this is an ad deduct, so if we don't need 10 truckloads, then it's going to be less. And same thing if we don't need 1,000 tons of infield mix. This was a base bid to see exactly what, to kind of get everybody bidding apples to apples. So hopefully we don't need 1,000.
So you don't expect to exceed
No.
105, technically 105.7 if you take the base infield mix and the safe code at 10.
Yes, sir.
That's 105.7.
What I was trying to get at was the total, I don't, you know, yeah. So we got the 2.3, we got a place.
Agreed. So entertain a motion.
Yes, sir. My motion would be not to exceed $105,000 on the new bills and 13 baseball fields here.
We have a motion to accept resolution 2878, awarding it to River City Athletics not to exceed $105,000. Correct? We have a second? We have a second. So we have a motion from Councilmember Cagle, second from Vice Mayor Hilton. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Vice Mayor Hilton?
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle?
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey?
Yes.
Councilmember Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. Resolution approved. Item D.
Resolution number 2879, a resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to combine 3 task orders for stormwater improvements and approve the design, bidding, and construction assistance services of CTI Engineering for drainage repair and/or replacement for the 3 projects.
Mayor and council, we've been working with CTI on multiple drainage projects throughout the city. These 3 are South Seminole, Boyd Street, and 700 block of State Line Road. The idea of combining these 3 task orders, when we go to bid, we get one contractor to do all 3 projects. They feel like it's better to do that, and we'll actually have a chance of being able to pick a substantial contractor that can get the job done efficiently and effectively. So that's been the recommendation from CTI.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2879, not to exceed the $30,450.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Cagle, a second from Vice Mayor Hilton. Do we have any discussion? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Hilton? Yes. Councilmember Cagle?
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey?
Yes.
Councilmember Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. Item E.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to appoint 2 members to the East Ridge Library Board.
Currently, we have 2 board members that are expiring at the end of this month. Those are appointments that Mr. Chauncey has inherited, and then Vice Mayor Hilton. Do either of you have a appointment you would like to make this time?
Yeah, my appointment is going to be Mrs. Kathy Cook. I think she'll make an excellent addition to the library board.
I'm going to read one there, they received the email. She said she would like to serve.
All right. We have appointment of Kathy Cook for Councilmember Chauncey, and the reappointment of Mary Lambert for Vice Mayor Hilton. We normally do a roll call for approval.
There's not one that requires one for the library board. These are individual appointed ones by each respective commissioners. We've got it as a resolution, I think, as a courtesy that we've got it. But technically, they have that right to appoint those individuals.
Well, entertain a motion if someone would like to approve these appointments.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
We have a motion from Councilmember Chauncey and a second from Councilmember Witt. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Hilton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Wynn,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. And those appointments. Thank you for your service.
Resolution 2881, a resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to cancel the second meeting of the month of December 2018.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion, Vice Mayor Hilton, and a second by Councilmember Witt. Council, is there any discussion? Roll call.
Vice Mayor Hilton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Wynn,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Item G.
Resolution number 2882, a resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, appointing members to the East Ridge Planning Commission.
Yes, please. You just explain better than I would.
There's 5 spots in the City Planning Commission. Under the code, when it was adopted and formed, the mayor is to serve on the planning commission. That was recently changed over about a year ago, that the mayor or his designee would take that spot. I believe that spot was designated by Mayor Lambert to be Mr. Tuggle. And so Mr. Tuggle's position, and or the mayor position technically, is now vacant. The council previously had nominated and appointed Mr. Larry Sewell to serve as the council representative, and so that spot is vacant. Councilmember Chauncey is a currently serving member of the Planning Commission, and there's nothing that prevents him from staying on there as a Planning Commission member. But my recommendation would be he step down from his current position, which I think the term of his position would have terminated
2022.
Is that right? 2020, excuse me, it would have terminated, yours would have completed in August 24, 2020. The reason I would recommend that Mr. Chauncey step down is if he were to remain on, there is nothing under the ordinance that prevents him, but you're technically going to have 3 council members on the planning commission. You're basically just going to have that same body that has the majority there come up here and have the majority here. It's not forbidden or prohibited. My recommendation is it's not a good practice. So for that, I think if Mr. Chauncey steps down from his, that will vacate his until the completion of his term, which is again is August 24, 2020. So essentially that would mean 3 spots need to be filled in the planning commission.
I would agree with your recommendation.
And really, 3 spots are vacant, really 2 to be filled. Yours is actually yours or your designee.
Mr. Chauncey, you agree?
Yeah, I'm in agreement. Do I need to officially? For the
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make an announcement now, if you're going to.
I officially resign my spot, my existing spot from the East Ridge Planning Commission. And I'll say that if the council sees fit, that I would be willing to fill the seat that's required to be filled by city council moving forward, if that's the council's wishes.
Thank you.
And with that, that now vacates Mr. Chauncey's position on the planning commission, and the mayor under the city code is to appoint the 3 remaining, the other 3. So in other words, you've got to now appoint one for Mr. Chauncey's vacancy.
Yes. So I'll actually designate if I would desire, and then appoint Chauncey's location, his position, and then the council will then appoint one. Correct. Okay. In which order do we need to do this, sir?
There's not really an order. As far as the designee, there's nothing that requires it to be a permanent designee. You could have times where that individual serves, or you may decide you're going to serve that particular day. And so that's not really one that you have to fill tonight, although if you want to make an announcement, if you have a desire. I would fill the city council position first, and then you can appoint yours thereafter.
Okay. Do we have a motion for the city council appointment?
Second.
All right, we have a motion to appoint the city council selected seat to Chauncey, Vice Mayor Hilton, seconded by Councilmember Witt. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Melton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Wynn,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Congratulations. Nice little circle at your back. As for my appointment, I would like to reappoint Casey Tuggle from where he was actually on the planning commission before. And I will go ahead and make the announcement for a designee. I would like to designate J. Scott Miller. He's already said it would himself. Yes, that's it. Go ahead and tell that.
Yeah, my practice is I like to read a resolution, and this body takes any sort of action, so let's take a vote. We do have a resolution.
Looking for motion.
Make a motion to approve Casey Tuggle and Chase Scott Miller.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve a designee and my appointment by Vice Mayor Hilton, second by Councilmember Chauncey. Any discussion? Roll call.
Vice Mayor Melton,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle, Councilmember Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Wynn,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.